about communication channels between students, even within the university, between students and the college or department or student affairs or counseling unit and clinic. We try to educate them about that office. So in 31st October, on 31st October 2006, I was deployed to Center for Human Rights and Gender Education as administrative secretary. And being a pioneer secretary to that center, I was opportunity to know the reason for the university for establishing such a center in the university. The center was established by the university as a response to the growing need to provide human rights and gender education and to reduce conflict being generated as a result of lack of knowledge of individual rights and limitations. So to achieve this, we organized leakages and bilateral relations with organizations like JDPC, JDPC, Justice Development and Peace Commission, United Nations Information Center, National Human Rights Commission, then with human rights personalities like Gadifa Femi Falana, Abolish Ade, Grandfather Ogui, like that. We have many of them that we need to relate with them. Then we also have a relationship with Youth for Human Rights International. Also, to achieve this objective, we organize human rights clinics where students can come, students and even the whole public, even people from outside that come to complain about violation of human rights. So they can come to our human rights clinic and just center them the report. Then we also organize, knowing the problems and the effects of violence, election violence in the society. During election, we organize campaign against electoral violence. Even we organize programs, partner with other organizations like JDPC to organize seminars and workshops. There is a particular one that was sponsored by American Embassy, and members were given stipend to support them for attending those programs and participating in those programs. We even have academic programs on human rights, academic programs. Those programs provide human rights, peace and conflict, and gender education. We also design curriculum for students in that sector. And from all these relationships and linkages, the university benefits a lot. We have opportunity to participate in social forums at state level, national level, and international level, especially supported with by Justice and Justice Peace and Justice Development Court by, like, for example, like the National Human Rights Commission to fight infringement on rights. So we have support by people like the National Human Rights Commission and like Youth for Human Rights International. They really support us in giving us clips, these things that can educate people about rights and how you can collaborate to fight infringement on rights. And we get donations like the United Nations Information donate food to the center. So in November 2008, I was deployed to Student Affairs Office. And Student Affairs Office, the major responsibility to handle matters related to students' welfare, discipline, and student union activities. So our function then is to take care of students and to discipline students. And the major challenge we have is that time autism is very serious. Autism is very serious on campus. And you can imagine leaving office around 6:30 p.m. with office food before we left, and come back in the morning for the second day with bullets and letters on this table. You can imagine with list of names, there are people that will be killed. So it's very serious. the campus was volatile and is with God. Even at times they will invite us. If we are opportunity to have information that students will protest tomorrow, but in the midnight, the students are practicing the vice chancellor will go and meet them in the midnight. Thank God, one of the instruments, any good administrator or you are in an office that can be called matter house. You need your family to be your prayer warrior. They should be your prayer warrior. Please. At that time, I had to leave out around 11 o'clock, and I came back around 2. And luckily, I met my wife and my children praying. So, please, it was a very serious deal. Because all these students are carrying on, and they are not trained to carry on. So we have to really careful. And in student affairs, shortly before I got to student affairs, some students were defeated from camp, and it's another challenge that for this to happen, how will it not happen again during my time? And with glory of God, one of the assignments is that I found out that the school, the university, is not enlisted, is not part of all producing institution. And I contacted the management that we need to work on this and see that the university is included among all producing institutions, and we are given certificate. For us to organize seamless mobilization process to try our best, even at the point, the management decided that year the students will do graduation, they will collect certificate, they will go to camp that year and collect their results. By the grace of God, with the support of all staff and management, we were able to achieve that. And with that, up to now, there were no delay in mobilization. Like in other schools, where they tell you, we're supposed to first finish with those who graduated 2015. So we are still on 2015. So others, the new graduates will go and queue and wait for them to be mobilized. Immediately you graduated, definitely the next batch, the name will be on the list. So in June 2011, I was deployed to Portsmouth as college officer. And I just spent about a month, over a month then. But I was able to involve in the preparation of accreditation exercise. I was fully involved. And for that, I have to contact all the departments in the college to get all their needs, arrange all their needs, write for their requests, contact them, and where we have problems, what can be done. So in September 2011, I was deployed to Center for Entrepreneurship and Professional as secretary to that center. And secretary, that center is to coordinate all vocational skills, entrepreneurship, and general study courses. So when I go to that office, I find out that nearly all the students in the university are having problems. If they don't have basic score in GNS, they will have the ENS. If they don't have the ENS, they will have the post. They will have the post. So you will all remember time of OMR sheet. Even the OMR sheet you get, you won't find it. So those there will not have score. So some of them will repeat it, some will write petitions, some will write the management. Even though they said that there was a time somebody write Obasanjo and Obasanjo called during this is Professor Obinna center the issue. So although we were committed, because the student is at fault, was at fault. So during that period, to solve the problem of missing score, I went to the director and I told him, now we are having post-UME online, and the students are receiving their results within a week. Why can't we do post exam for all these students? so that they can have their sports online. We agree, and for us, we have our coordinator, and the present director of ICT was one of the coordinators of JNS, I think JNS application for computer. So we charge him at the meeting of the coordinators to go and prepare a proposal for us so that we can have e-exam for all general courses. That's how we start e-exam in the university. And to the glory of God, we started, even other schools, other sister institutions started coming to the classroom to know how we are doing it. And because of this opportunity, we are able to channel more effort on other goals of the center. To the extent that when I go to that office, I met 8 host courses. Before I left the place, the courses were increased to 20 before I left that office. So we have 20 host courses, and they were doing well and generating income for the university. On the 15th November 2016, I was, for the second time, redeployed to student affairs. That time, there was synergy between NYS and JAM. So the online mobilization has been perfect. Already before that, before I left here for the first time, we were preparing to have online mobilization. So that one gave us opportunity to perfect our online mobilization at ASU. And again, we can be we can do well with the online mobilization by NYSC. And that study gave us opportunity to reduce illegal mobilization, because at the point of entry, if you don't have any record with JAM, then really your name cannot appear on the mobilization list. Because after keying your name on mobilization portal, on NYSC portal, the something you will go and check JAM portal to confirm that the students got admission to that university before they can approve your mobilization. So, and again, on counseling, up to today, there are still some students, because of that method, they can't dress anyhow again. We introduce what we call FRC approach, where we ask students to sit down. If there is if a student is with what's it called? Dressing, indecent dressing. So we ask him to sit down in the office, show him clips where indecent, what indecent dressing for students or people in the town. So because of that, some students changed and decided that they can't face all these things. So on 28th January 2000, I was posted to postgraduate college as deputy lecturer and secretary to postgraduate college. But then I got to that office when the college was just close to their main building with little facilities to make the work condition conducive. But before I left, I was able to make water available in the whole building, and burglaries installed support of the management. So on the 17th of January 2023, I was deployed to admission division, deputy registrar admission. And my responsibility is to coordinate university undergraduate admission process and ensure that they are in line with the joint admission and matriculation board and the university senate deadline on admission. In admission office, there were a lot of challenges. One challenge of agents. We have too many agents. We have too many agents. Even outside the university, you see a lot of instructions to students to do one thing or the other. So it's very dangerous. The issue of agents is a very serious challenge, although we are trying to be on top of it and not be assisted. Another thing is candidate using business center information instead of personal information like phone number. You see that when you check, maybe the student, you need to call the student to solve one problem. By the time you call this business center that will carry it and tell you, no, ọmọ ẹ̀kọ́ àṣẹ ìkíní kan bí mi, àkọsí mímọ́. So it's one of the problem because some of these students are inexperienced, so it's really affecting them. The last admission, up till the time we are about to close admission, some students, some candidates didn't upload their WAEC result because they use this what's it called, NEPO, and NEPO is just taking when we came out when we were doing admission, so they didn't upload their result. Up till now, even up till now, some didn't upload their result. And how can that student be given admission without result? Another challenge is staff. Many staff, even if I call them admission officer, because if they bring their list, you know that even they are the admission officer. Even staff list at times is more than business list. Even I want to present one list to the vice chancellor. Something of so, and one thing we need to note is that every mistake in admission office to just is intentional. Because what we are considering as mistake here, and happened in other schools, we are investigated and find out that somebody collects something that and you want to call it mistake. So that will call it as mistake. So that's not addition of this stuff. We have to break it down. And another challenge is submission of file. Collection of clients. I imagine something that you can get it. So they are not submitted and they are given. So it's an aberration. Even that they will not be able to collect. They will not be able to do that. They will not be able to do that. Because you don't have job admission, you cannot start, you cannot go for something. So, and one of the great opportunities we have now, let me thank Mr. Adesanya for his support. And now we are trying to develop this between addition of students affairs and academic affairs. Addition gives the point of it. Students are aware of and their family and take that before they can leave this. So we are developing a synergy. If anybody is going out or they want to work at any part and tell you that collect that part, if you work on that part, they should be happy. And if anybody is going for a system perspective, I tell you that part is inside. And people do any level of and what to collect is result. If that place still need to go back to admission of that admission of and this synergy will bring about a lot of population collaboration between the offices and inside the system. So that's my story and but I have opportunity to serve national assignment and as returning officer 2003 and presidential humanitarian Senate and other. Again, I was given opportunity to serve on the for screening of all primary schools. But I want to give some advice. In the system, we are misplacing some things. We are misperception theories. For example, We don't know the difference between power and authority. Some of us do. The difference between power and authority. Very careful. Power and authority. And another thing is gifts and bread. Gifts and bread, especially in some of these other houses. There's no difference between gift and at times we mistake undue favor as help. And another thing is clear and hot. Clear and hot. If you buy a land, I want to give up. Definitely, not to talk, not to talk. That's what. So, whatever we are doing, let us be it with touch. And tackle all challenges that become our way at our duty, so that we can have continuous success. So, the thing is that we should clear and not off when we get to any. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Happy. You see, I have the opportunity to work with the gentleman 3 times. The first time was Center for Human Rights and Gender Education. The second time was when he said they got bullets and they named it. Though my name was not among the bishops. But we had admission office there. And the third time was at the Center for Temples. We were there together. And you know, the beautiful thing about working with him is it gives you your freedom to do your job the way you feel you should do it, but it must not go away from what the book says. What does the book say? Take your freedom, do it, but it must not be part of what the book says. Once again, I want to enjoin us to give him a round of applause. I wouldn't know if my idea would say anything. National. Yes, at the junction, let me quickly recognize why our guest was giving us what he has for us. Deputy registrars came in, of course, the Deputy Registrar's Academic Affairs Division, Mr. Ademola Olonwa Adesanya. The Deputy Registrar Human Resource Management Division, of course, of course, Mr. Patti Adenuba. Welcome, sir. Just at this junction, I know you have 1 or 2 questions you want to ask. So, question. 1. Me, I have 1, 2. Question. AKT, are you 3? With the permission of the chairman, we'll start with the 3.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you, sir, for the presentation. My question is this: how are you able to handle pressure with work and family? Going through your CV where you worked, the pressure as exams, as student affairs, at admissions, how are you able to combine work, family, and even personal life? How are you able to cope, sir?
Thank you so much. I will take your question. Just appreciate you, question of everybody. I want to be that post. So, it's a little bit nice man. But the people very clear. Praise God. So, and I'm going to learn today. Who is Adesanya? Yes, who is Adesanya? When I got to the office, the second week, he was responding to one the garden. Okay, he had needed. You need to see the technique of people to get my colleague. The following week, when you got that guy, I think I'm going to do 2 months. I'll give it for you. Put the file for me. You put the file for me, my name. That I think you can do that. It's your foundation. The following month, you can what to go with that is. You know that we need it. When I told you, I told my name was actually wanted to know where our land is. The following week, when we go to the office, according to that, where the land is, the first one to know where my land is. People have to start their work. Baba, this is your land. Getting clear, the third one, that is the third clear land, and the big block to that. How many 30,000? So within 6 months, I can build my house. So what is that year? That completed. Everything. And then everything. You know about what you bring it. Where you bring it. That is I can amuse her. No. After that, I can hold the money. So within a year, you don't come because it's landlord. Yes, Mr. Adesanya, issues concerning admission that you mentioned. One, there have always been issues concerning the tax clearance. Tax clearance. We're having issues where the name of the father will be used as sponsor. And of course, unfortunately, it is the mother that will have tax clearance. For example, let me use myself as Adebola as the sponsor, the father. Whereas the wife is the tax clearance we're going to use. The issue comes up that they now tell you that because it is the surname, the sponsor, which is Adebola, is different from the topic that they brought, that they will not accept that tax clearance because that means it's not the sponsor. How do you go about it? That is one. Two, sir. Concerning admission, when students are given admission for a particular course, and probably through change of course was the final result of the admission to the course the student is doing now. Issues concerning not, accepting the change of course. The acceptance on job portal, the acceptance on parking tax. How has this information been passed to the students for them to know so that at least they'll have for the synergy between the admission office and the student in terms of this information, this for them to do this seamlessly without errors and faults. Thank you, sir. Thank you. First of all, on prayer. One thing is that you need to pray that you have the good thing. You have the good thing in your office. That's why if you can do it alone, they won't bring people to you in your office. So, and there is need for delegation of authority and responsibility be shared within that office, so that if you have good people to work with, definitely you won't have problem. So you have problem. You need to manage everything. Although it's not easy. It's not easy. So that's why we are managers. You need to manage everything. So you will manage pressure. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Tiami. Thank you. And Mr. Petuga, on sponsor and tax clearance. Tax clearance is state government policy. It's the policy of state government that you must pay some amount. You must pay tax before to confirm that you pay tax before you can be given admission. And because of atrocities by people, so they want to confirm that tax is from your sponsor. So the person that will give you tax man be your sponsor. So they want to confirm that. Now tax officers are coming to school to confirm all these things, and they will check their file, the students' file, to confirm that all these things are right. So they will do that. If you know you made mistake before admission, you can write. We have good evidence. So they will change it for you in the school so that you have the same name on the sponsor and on the pastor. I'm not talking about different sponsors. I'm talking about, I'm not saying even parents, and if the parents are sponsoring you, definitely you should put both names on it. Mr. and Mrs. So. You will with their names. Now they will not accept abbreviation or initial. So even if you are going to use Mr. and Mrs. You write Mr. and Mrs. Lukman Adesanya. Now I have brought the tax clearance of Adesanya, which is your wife. Yes. How will I be able to pretend that is your wife and it's going to be accepted? That's right. Okay. So we take it, people include the name of that, the mother, that. I think that's no, even the issue of mixer. The issue of mixer. Mr. and Mrs. no longer is invalid. If you want to make it Mr. and Mrs., it must be Mr. Abiodun and Mrs. Olajumoke no longer. The two names must be there. So if you have done that, take care of that. I think Mr. Kalejai wants to ask a question.
The question by Professor concerning the issue of parents using the tax plan for parents. I think it's very, very, very easy to know if the name of the tax plan is the name of the student's mother. You can call for the birth certificates. The name of the parents who appeared on the birth certificates. What he's saying is that the students put the name of the father as sponsor on the form. And he now presented the tax plan of the mother. And addition of this now rejecting. It shouldn't be. You just call for the birth certificate of the student. You check, you cross check. I think that should be the way out.
No, sir. Even if you check the birth certificate of the student, the tax office will not be available to check that certificate. They will be fine. And the name will not be. I told you, I said the students will write with supporting documents. They will write with supporting documents to prove to us that that person is his mother. So that supporting document give us opportunity even to effect it on university portal. so that it will be the same name on the tax and ANUPA, Mr. Kalejaye, I expect you not to argue. In the presentation, why our dear talk, he said something that is germane. I don't know if you listening. He said he works with documents, either the church condition of service or every law to support whatever he's doing. So it will be very difficult now to change his mind. So he said he wants supporting documents. Please support all your arguments. The document. So you thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, I thank you. I know you very well. Pass, please. At this junction, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are about to run up. We want our national to give us remark. If there must be a remark for him, I will not get remark from the national. No. I still not want to understand it. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let us clap while I take the mic to Mr. Adebisi Sarapati. Yeah, thank you very much. I want to congratulate all of us for being here. I'm very, very happy to do. I'm seeing my chairman standing for the first time here. Oh, it's been a very long time. Okay. Okay. You'll be missing. So thank you very much. There's no doubt that we have learned one or two things. If not for anything, the last observation by the chairman of ANUPA is enough to take on this presentation. And that is administrator work by the rules. You work by the rules. If you understand, instead of document to you, advise on sabbatical, advise on leave of absence, the first thing you take is the condition of service. Anything we do, what does the rule say? I think that's the basis of our job. There's no room for, even though there is room for creativity and innovation. But that is when there is a lacuna, when there is a gap in the law. You see an opportunity to get that is only when you have opportunity to be creative and innovative. So, for you not to put yourself in problem in this job, go by what the rule says. And again, the last presentation before this one, we had of sacrifices. We have said something like that, and that was why somebody asked this question: how do you manage your job with the hope? You cannot lose our jobs without sacrifice. It is not possible if you really want to achieve. If you really want to make a difference. And where does that start? It's unfortunate where we are. No accommodation, nothing. You have to come from town. There are other challenges. You come to office 9. You close at 9. But 4 o'clock does. People don't want to hear anything. It's 4. Some people will not say goodbye. We need to sacrifice. On our plan. And again, you have opportunity to do what you want to do today. And especially so in Austria, we can make sacrifice. But our people are not ready to make sacrifice. And one thing I don't tell people, especially where there's life, you are not sure that will like tomorrow. Why can't you not opportunity to complete your work today because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow? And aside that, there are situations where you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. God forbid death, God forbid anything. There could be circumstances that could delay, issues that could delay you. Why can't you finish your work today and by tomorrow you are free? So I want to plead with us. Let us learn to sacrifice for the system. And again, we benefit from the system. You request, Oga, I won't be around tomorrow. I won't be around tomorrow. Oh no, you're not fair. But when it's time to say, please give us 1 hour more, you say, no, all is for. Let's search our conscience. Let's give our best to the service of this university. Whether we like it or not, the university is our life. The university is our future. Because when you retire, you collect your money. And it's that money that you retire with that you go to plan your life with, isn't it? So that means it's our today, it's our tomorrow. And from there, we collect salary. From there, we pay the use of our children who are our tomorrow. Then, why should we give our best? May God help us.
Yes, what the deputy registrar, the postgraduate college was giving us the schemats. Of course, our own patron, and the former chairman of this ANUPA branch came in. Let us dance our hands together. Our registrar, Mr. Kapo. Sunday, okay. You're welcome. I give up back of the matter in one. No, I'm not putting there. Yes, the registrar, sir. I will quickly give a brief recap of what we've discussed, and I will say it in just two. I try to use two words. I mean, two phrases. Let me use that one. The first one is to do the thing, our job, by the rules and what the book states. And the second one is sacrifice. That at every point of our daily activities as professional administrators, there are going to be the need for us to give and make sacrifice. Of course, with this brief remark I've given you, I know our members will want you to make your own remark concerning this. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure that I've been a very interesting episode. I've been our mission manager, the man who is busy bringing in students to the university. We don't know where they are being brought. We now have 29,000 students in this university, and last year ago, I think we admitted 9,000. That would be the highest in the history of this university. We are sure that by next year, by this next admission, our quota will also increase. And we'll get to the point that this university will be going to, the more students we have, the more money, and then what yes, the frequency at which you laugh to the bank for your salary. You can see that we are not having it now. Because because the people in admission, they are doing their work. They are sacrificing. Yes, they are bringing more people. The university is now able to pay. I'm sure that let me say this, the lighter move. The chairman of the union was in my office a few minutes ago. He was asking about salary. But I'm happy that he was the one who provided solution. He said he's aware that Ilea is upper week, and that maybe management is trying to delay salary so that it will come. I don't know, but we will not look that. We will not look it. But we thank God. There was a time we were owing, but due to our sacrifices, I mean, we were able to, to come over those ones. And now we are now paying as at when although they can do by yes, talking about what they contracted. Talking about the rules, the essence of our being in the system is to interpret the rules, is to implement the rules. Everything about administration is about interpretation and implementation of the rules. That will be the left. Our job in the university is about the rule, about the implementation, about the interpretation. And so, as an administrator in the university, you are a judge, you are a lawyer, a senior advocate for that matter. Because like one who will make case, like one who will argue that this person should be admitted for so reason, should be accommodated for so reason, to be, the matter to be treated. The people in HRL, they do that every time, interpreting the rules. Judging, they are also judging because they will interpret and then recommend. And at the end of the day, the vice chancellor will now read their submissions in one shape course. So, argue, citing the relevant aspect of the law, and the judge will do what? Without your interpretation of the rule, the vice chancellor will be helpless. The registrar will be helpless. So when there are issues, we come, if it is academic matter, we will come to those of you in academic affairs, we are in the matter of primary, elective and required courses. That we are in the matter of, that's why you tell us a student is supposed to have 120 units can graduate, and that when because it did not register. The rule says, the university rule says that anybody who did not register cannot have and what we do in Senate affairs. Senate also be pointing to the rules guiding the request. And Senate must abide with the rules, appeal and then taking new, that is exactly it is our whole Senate is like the National Assembly, where the rules are drafted. The council is like that too. So when we have issues, it is the administrator that will determine. Let me give you a particular example. When I was in exams and records, a particular student, some students had issues with a particular course. And that course was in English language. Because of the interpretation of the department. The interpretation of the department was English 311 or 315. It means, therefore, that a student will either take 311 or 315. That was the interpretation. So now, because of that, some students took 315. And some did not take 311. Why? Because students will always find the means of judging, say, okay, lecturer I need that. So we'll go on rush 315. Maybe 311. Okay. Now, at the point of graduating, we now discovered that 311 is required. And the interpretation is that a required course is a course you must register for. You may not take part, but you must register for it. And at that time, I wrote to the academic board that 311 is a required course. Why 311? Because of the interpretation of the department. Not what I. Because they said 311 or 315. That means what? You can see, nobody taught me the interpretation. That's what I'm trying to say. You are expected to draw your own interpretation of the rules. If that will be subject to your own understanding of the rule. If you don't understand the rule, you cannot interpret. Have to understand this one now. So, at the point where we were not clearing the students, a particular student, or about 2 or 3 of them, did not register for 311. Can they graduate? Now, students, when they have it, the next thing they expect you is that and so the lady went and told story. This story, this is here. You remember that story? Reported me to Professor Teleki and the dates. But you are on reference begin to what the secret. That's why I did not want to pass more. It is the interpretation of the rule, no pass more, and not me as the person. At the end of the day, I now confronted Professor Teleki, Dr. Adegbotu. This is the interpretation of the University of syllabus. This is the mistake the English department made. And with this interpretation of what you have, and they also said that the required course is a course everybody must register. Now, in one more, I'm also past here, we now check their paper, they register. They took the exam, they failed. In your own case, you don't people register for it and pay extra year. Please, when you interpret the law, the regulation, you will have a very good standing. You will fly like eagle. You know that eagle flies so high. So that is our job. And that is how people refer you. If you are an administrator and you know the rules, people will refer you very well. They will know that they will ever try help you because of what? They will go more rules. That's the example. I'm just giving you a very good example. If I didn't have that as a background argument, I would have been giving that name of either a rapist or so, but the matter came up and I was able to go free. Yes, on the issue of sacrifice. Well, I met Mr. Adebisi talking about it, and I think I don't have anything to add than to appeal to all of us to please sacrifice. We need to sacrifice a lot. Wherever you find yourself, sacrifice is the only thing that we can also call devotion. It means the devotion of devotion, when you devote your time, when you dedicate your time to the service of the university or whatever you are doing, that you are sacrificing. At times you wake up in the morning, your body system, your body chemistry will not be, that you still want to walk. It's just sacrifice. Because if you want to go by virtue of your body chemistry, you may decide to stay at home. But because of the fact that you need to sacrifice or things like that, putting in extra effort at the expense of your personal gains. That's exactly what we call. But when you don't be like a Kadasika, if you come here 4 o'clock, when you come out, when it is 4 o'clock, you see, I think my office was about 4 o'clock. There was a time I discussed the issue, and I think I will bring it here. Anytime we have inaugural lecture, all of you on that day will close by 1 o'clock. Even when you don't attend the inaugural lecture, immediately what the inaugural lecture, you carry your bag, you go home. Whereas we will go to inaugural lecture. When you get there, some of us will still leave that place and still come back to our office to at least attend to 1 or 2 things. There are times that people will come. For instance, you are working in the academic affairs office. Don't forget that people come from far and near. And imagine they came around 1. You didn't know that you are having inaugural lecture. You know, but you don't feel something what to do inaugural lecture. So what you will go there. And as staff in that department, you are just leaving the inaugural lecture, and from there you went to. Please, is that good enough? You still have to go back to your office, especially some of you that are working in the student services department. In PT college, anybody can come. Yes, so please, that is sacrifice. We know that one for university program. But it's not enough for you to just leave from there and go home. So please, let's try as much as possible to sacrifice some of our time to please the system, because the system is also finding it level to please you. So in so many things, we do so many things to please you, and you will not know when we are sacrificing. But when we ask you to sacrifice, that is when issues will come up. So we thank you very much for your time, and we appreciate the fact we appreciate our for this. And like I told you, many things that we talk about here, you cannot find them in the book. And there will be a time that all these things will be very useful to you. So, Baba, next time, I did interview. Baba, be the question follow. So, Baba, see what he Niyi Adesanya no so one day to take it down for something nowhere. But some people will come here, both no matter. So I think we should try as much as possible to be attentive when we come to this place. Thank you very much.
Mr. ANUPA Accreditation for Service. Well, is the question, and I just think it's an opportunity for us to know. Because they say that interview, we need to get something right. I have observed recently at the outside what they are back of that. So we get that. I have observed the outside world apart from TASU that at our own apex career in administration, most of the people that now become not TASU, they always learn English. It is an English, they are specialists in English. And I was not thinking, what is going on? Of recent, I called Mr. Adebisi, already comfortable with registrar of English to not always get pay how to say English here one registrar in most places. All these the likes of people and the rest that they have it shatter, and all of them are taking with. So I now want to ask director, can you throw like give me some logic into it, which I accepted to. But for purpose of knowledge, because we are sharing knowledge here, for purpose of knowledge, why is it that majorly now around us, it is not specialized in English because they said they can do us at interview. Because the answer I got, let me give you the answer straight. It is very easy for an English major student or administrator to control the panel. They will carry you from north to unknown. That's not you with English. That's you with English. The panelists will not think labor. Even the VC of it, that I will have to because the English do. So that's what I was asking. Why did you do that at international? Thank you, sir.
Let me say that it's not only that we bring people. Another trend I have not noticed is that more women are becoming registrars. You know, somebody told me something 2 days ago. He said, what Satan and Eve discussed up till now, nobody knew. Nobody, Satan and Eve, what they discussed. So, I mean, many women are coming on board as registrars. And I want to tell you, in recent time, we have so many of them, women, and they are very vibrant. Very vibrant. You see, let me tell you one thing about interview. It's not about what you studied, but about the knowledge, about the job knowledge. You see, any interview, when you attend interview, interviews are broken into about 3 or 4, about 5 or more. But job knowledge carries the highest mark. And in that interview, the job knowledge you're talking about is things you are doing in your offices, things you have done in your previous department and unit. So it's not about English. It is about your own proficiency, communication ability, then the knowledge of the job. You know, for people who know it, they know the job, they cannot express themselves. I did history, I didn't do English, but English not being for history. There are people who did the management. So, and then look, when we read, you see, when we read memos, we know exactly the people that have, you know, the magazine. This person has his pair. When you say somebody has his pair, it means you can write. There are some of us here who have their pen. They can write very well. When they write their summary, you definitely want, you know, this flawless. And what is the job of an administrator? English language, English language, English language, English language. I hope you understand. So even if you don't read English, you are already an expert in English by practice. Because what you do every day, you're already an expert. When you come to the office, you speak English. When you want to write memo, you speak English. You write English. When you are reading memo from another person, whether you read English or you did English, or you did psychology or you did geography, the English is the official business. So please, you have to brush up yourself. It doesn't matter what somebody will read Yoruba and will be highly proficient in writing English. So don't limit yourself. Don't put limitation to your capacity or capability by virtue of what you read. Put in your efforts. Learn the job and be somebody who is ready to learn. If you are ready to learn, you will definitely get it right. Because even those who read English, they went to the university at the Nakuru. Once they get there, they started learning. And so you can even find people who did sciences, who can even write better. When you go to meetings, people who didn't read English, they will correct your minutes. Is that not true? English is our essay. They will correct your meaning. What you think is appropriate. You know, one thing about minute writing is about the use of pressure. You know pressure. So back to go in minutes. Go may not go is correct, but may not be the most appropriate thing to you. You understand? Go is correct. So there's nowhere you take it that you will not see that the correct grammar. But go may not be the appropriate word that you will use. So that you know there's one profession. Professor now give you options. You think of go, it will tell you about 5 other words. You know, yeah, that are synonyms of go. So instead of using go, it will tell you proceed. Move ahead, something like that. So you will now see that it tells you that you have to develop yourself. So I'm trying to say in essence that once you find yourself in the job of administrator, you have to develop yourself. Number one thing is the job knowledge. Number 2 is your contribution, what you have personally contributed to the system. Because most of the time in the interview, they will be asking you, what have you done? It's also a very, seriously, my colleagues there who have gone for registrars, deputy registrars interview. That is the peak of it. I'm telling you, the questions are just there, and they are not from any book. They are things you are doing or you have done. They'll be asking you about your job schedule. They'll be asking you about a solution to a problem. They'll be asking you about the interpretation of a certain rule. They'll be asking you, for instance, the last interview we had, we were asking people, in the absence of the pro-chancellor who takes charge in the contest, who? And the answer is correct, but why? You understand? It is because the vice chancellor is the chairman of Senate, and it is Senate that gives that award certificate. So in the absence of chancellor, the vice chancellor, and even in the name, that is why we call him vice chancellor. Simple as that. I hope you understand the point now. No, they ask you questions that are technical questions, and they expect you to interpretation, and then of course, it is not only about English. It's also coincidental. So many people, they are legal professionals that are becoming registrar. There are people who did management. There are people who did social management sciences, arts, even arts. So I think that is just that. It's not limited to, and please don't limit your chances because you did not read English. You understand it now. Don't limit your chances. Anybody can become anything just make sure you know what you are doing and you do it rightly. Yes, on the final note, before we leave, I just want to inform the legislature, though we have said it before the agenda, that this our own administration has already wind down. And we have announced the names of the electoral committee at this sitting today. We have our election and new officers have come on board. Just for your information. Thank you.